not as frequent, near as frequent as it used to be. Today I'm having 4 caffeines because I'm having 3 cups of black tea. And I had an Excedrin. I don't know. That's real hard to tell because I drink tea almost every day. But I can go without it. Like, it doesn't... It's more of like a comfort thing than it is like, I don't have a need. Why? I love... No, I like black tea. I love chai. But what am I looking for? What am I looking for? What am I trying to notice about being off of caffeine? I also can't guarantee that I'd come completely off of it, because if I need to take painkillers, that's gonna have it in there. It's loaded. A lack of happiness. I'd just be sad that I wouldn't be drinking tea. Like the flavors of tea that I want. I guess I could go buy caffeine-free chai and then see how that goes. So we're just looking to see, I guess, what happens. Are we gonna do science? Wait, oh my god, wait. I can't do it until I come back from South Carolina. 'Cause you would have to kill me to get me to not drink sweet iced tea from the South. And they use caffeinated tea. I have to. It's my blood. My dad's house over Thanksgiving, they make shitty coffee and don't have caffeinated drinks in the house. I had a raging headache on day 3 and found a Pepsi in the back of their fridge. Wow. Yeah, I feel really, really lucky that I don't have that experience. Like, if I go days without tea, which is that's my caffeine, it doesn't bother me. I mostly just miss drinking tea. I just want to drink a hot tea. The caffeine is not important to me. It really isn't. I genuinely think sweet tea rivals cigarettes in terms of negative health impact on society. There's a lot of sugar. There's a lot of sugar. You know, that's the reason I don't make it myself, is because it's a fucking pile of sugar. And I don't want that. But when I go down south, I do get it, because I go down there so infrequently that it really is just a treat at that point, and that's fine. I'm usually 1 to 2 large coffees and then 2 to 3 energy drinks. Oh! See, that would make my heart race and jump around. That would give me heart palpitations for sure. After having a few traits. Wait. There are a lot more diagnoses out there, and having a few traits does not make it a diagnosis. Yeah. That's why I was like, is chat just joking right now? Like when they joke about thinking I'm a lesbian secretly or bisexual? This can't be good for the heart. That's my concern. Sweet tea has more sugar. Yeah! It's so good, but I can't... There's so much sugar that I don't make it to caffeine level for my early 20s. I thought you were gay when I met you in person for quite a while. I know, but like, I don't look the way now that I looked when I was 20. I look very different. And I can, like, looking at pictures of myself, I can see why people would think that. But I don't look like that anymore. Lysandro energy, yeah. I mean, look, I don't regret that at all, though. That was what I needed. I had a lot of figuring out how to dress myself. I flip-flopped a lot. Yeah, it was a great look. It's not 100% accurate to me now. I think I found a really good, I think I found, like, a really good place for myself now, which is great. I'm a little bit mad that, like, fashion as it is now isn't what I got to experience, because I could have looked a lot better when I went to homecoming in pants than business casual. But again, my mom did her best to help me, and I am very thankful for that. Hi Bailey, how's it going? People thought I was gay all the time as well. Yeah, I remember that too. I never did. But I also dated a guy in high school who turned out to be gay, and it never even crossed my mind until I actually heard it confirmed years later. But my parents were like, yeah, we could tell. And I was like, oh, it didn't ring a bell for me. That's exciting though. I hope it goes well. Just lie and you'll do fine. Oh, I get so stressed out for job interviews because of that. One of those, well, that explains a few things moments. Yeah. Like, after I found out, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I also had, after we broke up, but like years before I actually found out, and I don't think he came out for a long time, but I had a dream where I went into his house, and I don't think he was home, but I went into his room, like in the dream, I don't think he was home, and I went into his room, and it looked the way that it looked in real life, and then I went into his closet, and it was like rainbows everywhere. And then years later, I found out that he was gay, and I was like, oh shit, that was like a premonition, but I had no idea. It was weird. It was so... I was like, oh god, that was the most accurate dream I've ever had in my life. My sister-in-law dated my cousin way before. She's my sister-in-law. It's funny hearing this story because growing up, we all swore he liked men. To this day, he says he doesn't. Oh, I mean, Cody, I'm not, like, concerned about it. It was more like... It's been brought up multiple times in chat, and so then I was like, wait, are y'all being serious? Like, you're not you're being serious, this isn't a joke? It's not like... like, if I were to be, like, confirmed ADHD, I don't think I would do anything about it. Like, as I am right now, I don't feel like I need help or something like that. Or medication for something. Like, I'm good. I'm also really tired of medication trials, so... yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I just think it's funny that it's been brought up multiple times, and some things seem like they line up, and I'm like, oh, that's... like, I find it entertaining. I don't know if that's weird to say. I guess there's, like, that curiosity thing that's being tickled, right? okay if you like men, I'll love you either way. Well, that's honestly really great, like, that if that were the case, that he'd be accepted. That's really nice. I do know, though, that if I was not straight, my parents would be chill about it, which I'm very thankful for. It would also be really hypocritical of them if they weren't chill about it, because I have a gay family member and they are 100% on board for that, so... I mean specifically in the closet. His closet! I literally, like, well, just in the dream, not in real life, but in the dream, I went into his closet and it was just gay in there. It was all gay. And I didn't know what to think about it. I don't think I told anybody about it. And then years later, I saw that he had a boyfriend and I was like, I was sent a sign. But yeah, the in the closet thing was hilarious to me, that's how my dream presented it as, too. Struggle with auditory information and starting tasks, so it's been very helpful for me to try out meds finally. Stream Chelsea doesn't seem to have ADHD, but IDK about IRL. I have a hard time these days. Like, if I have a free moment, I'm like, how can I fill it? What can I do with it? That's my thing. I don't necessarily think I have an issue starting tasks. It's sitting down and doing nothing for once. I like being constantly busy. But I don't know. I feel like I could attribute that to the fact that, like, I thought my life was over a couple years ago, or, like, close to, and now it's not. And so I'm, like, taking advantage of the fact that I can thrive now. I would just say anxiety. I wouldn't say that I mean, back then, yes, absolutely, I was very anxious. I don't think I really have that anymore, which is great. We love to feel more confident. I think I feel it in there a little bit sometimes, and then I'm just immediately like, no, we don't have to worry about that today, and then it doesn't really take over my world anymore. 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got an extra row in there. I did 8, and I'm not ripping it out. I'm not doing that. You got 8 rows instead of 7. Congratulations. I find HVAC noise far less intrusive. So public spaces are a lot more easier to manage now. Like air conditioning? Majority of the crafters I watched have been diagnosed with ADHD or have ADHD. The anxiety, yeah, the anxiety is very mellowed. And the depression is gone too. I was depressed in my early 20s, and that is not a thing anymore. The anxiety is like maybe once or twice a year I have to like work through something. Instead of being like, if I go outside today, I'm going to die. Thank God I don't have to deal with that shit anymore. It's going to say anxiety-induced symptoms that are similar to ADHD in times. The thing about my anxiety is really interesting, because some of it I absolutely can place to like, a string of events that I experienced that manifested into like what my therapist said was mild PTSD and like a phobia that I weirdly developed that wasn't related to what happened. But there was anxiety before then too. But I don't know if it was anxiety that was like caused by the depression that I was experiencing at the time, or if I was depressed because of the anxiety that I was experiencing at the time. I can't really like trace that part back, and other than maybe my best guess is that like I was going through like shifts in my identity because I was growing up, you know, I was like 20 years old. You go through a lot of change at 20. And the things that like made me happy when I was growing up weren't filling like my cup anymore. But I was trying to force them to, because that's all I knew that would make me happy. And I was having to figure out new things, and like, but I wasn't really letting it happen. They also often have a chicken. Yeah, I'm like, it's interesting to try and figure out where that stuff comes from, but I think sometimes there's not really a solid answer. Some of it I can trace back, some of it I can't. The important thing is, I don't have to deal with it anymore. I got through it. Which is great. And I'm glad that I knew that I was gonna get through it. Like, the entire time, I was like, it felt like walking through a gray, foggy tunnel, and you don't know, and like, you can't see the light at the end, but you know that if you just keep your hand on the wall and you keep walking forward, you'll get there eventually. You just don't know how long the tunnel is. That's kind of what was in my brain. And I got there eventually. I don't agree with the lifestyle, but I love you type, which sucked for me when I was in high school and figured out I was bi. Never ended up telling my dad. Oh, dang. I'm sure that was rough, though. You don't just disassociate in the kitchen and then realize you've been walking in a circle for 10 minutes trying to remember why you're in the kitchen. I can get out of that really, well, I don't think I dissociate. But I will walk into spaces and be like, shit, why am I here? And I figured out that the quickest way for me to remember is to redo that action. So go back to where I was when I had the thought of I need to come into this room, and then do it again, and that helps. How topic jumping just would have random shit to say, and then our calligraphy and typography professor would go on weird tangents and get entirely distracted. Yeah, that's ADHD. One of the great things about you, Cody, especially because I was like really shy and anxious, was that I could have an entire conversation with you and like barely say a word. That was so nice. I have to work through something every time I deliver photos because I'm convinced the client won't like them. Oh, but you're amazing. I mean, look, I know that that's not necessarily helpful as someone who has been told similar things, but then I'm like, this isn't good enough. And someone's like, no, but it's actually great. And I'm like, no. So I get that. I totally get that. ADHD diagnosis was masked by trauma, and then I just sat on it after getting in my late 20s for years. Trust the tunnel. Yeah, dude, the tunnel was like the best sort of metaphor, I guess, that I could come up with as like a descriptor for what I was, of how I was gonna like get through it. Good night, Soro. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Go back to the other room, but then I just get distracted by something in that room, and that's how I spend 30 minutes making a cup of coffee. It's a bit funny because we were waiting in the ICU waiting room, and I just blurted out, I never got to tell him I'm into women, to my entire family in the hospital priest. Oops. Can you do some emotes for me for exposure? I don't even have time to make my own emotes. I started buying them because I didn't have time to make my own. If I had time to make them, we could talk, but I don't. The reason we have not filled up the emote slots yet is because I was like really... Whoa, I was about to start knitting on this again. We don't need to do that. It's because I was so determined to make them all myself, and then eventually I was like, I can't do this. I don't have time. We're gonna just buy some, and then we're gonna commission some later. My mental state was that of the dog in the house that's fighting with the speech bubble. This is fine. Yeah! This is fine. Everything's fine. Do you wish that you had been able to tell him, even though he's kind of... he wasn't, like, okay with it, I guess? There's a piece of my hair that's not in my hair ties. Okay, I fixed it. Holy crap, y'all, it's 11 o'clock. Excuse me. As he got older, he's always mentioned if you marry a man or a woman. Oh, interesting. IDK what you're into. I wonder if he probably knew then. Because most people would just, if they just think you're straight, they would just say man. You know? I wonder if he knew. Let's see how far away we are for 2 inches here, because if we're close, I may as well just stay up and finish. Oh, we're not close. Okay. We're halfway there. And we're way past my stop time today. I also don't want to go to bed yet. I want to keep knitting. I want to keep crafting. I'm not done emotionally. He could have known, but was waiting for me to say something. I feel like what I hear is, that, like, parents sort of know, but they don't, for whatever reason, they don't say something until the kid does. Whether it just be out of, like, oh, we're waiting for you to come out in your own time, or because they have, like, a prejudice against it or something. Still one of the worst but slightly funny memories from the worst time of my life. Oh my gosh, that's... sounds complicated. I'm sorry. But we're having fun, I know. I have a lesson at 7:15 though. I also need to find my checkbook. I have to pay the coach that did our group number for the Christmas show. I can't tell you. An inch always seems a lot bigger than you would think. Have a good night, Bailey. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. We're at an inch. Okay. Yeah. We're doing phrasing. What's that? Let's think about how big a quarter is and add a smidge. I don't memorize how large a quarter is. Ugh. Quarter diameter is 0.955. Why would I imagine a quarter when I just have a tape measure? I think a lot of people will like measure a part of their body and then just use that, which I think I might do. It's like a finger joint or something. I know some people will get rulers tattooed on them, but I heard that they're not the most reliable because your skin changes over time and like sometimes it stretches out. My hand span is 10 inches. Oh my gosh. Are you surprised at how big an inch is? I don't, just because sometimes, like, you think an inch is smaller than it is, and then you measure it and you're like, wow, that's actually kind of big. Goddamn type ruler around with her. Caught her measuring type on a rock in a coffee shop once. That's funny. No, the fireplace is over. I guess that's a sign that I should probably go to bed soon. I'll finish this row. I'm not gonna be happy about it. I feel like I need to eat another pancake before I go to bed. I'm getting hungry. I didn't eat much earlier because I didn't feel good. Don't let me start another row. Don't let me do it. I want to. I'm not allowed. I'm gonna measure it, and then we're gonna rate out. Yep, that tracks. Barely over an inch. Look, the Hot Frosty ad is up! Oh yeah, if you guys want to watch Hot Frosty with me, go into the Discord and go into the announcement section, and there is a poll in there for days, so you can select which days work for you to do a movie night or afternoon. We're gonna watch Hot Frosty and we're gonna roast it over an open fire in December, so if that interests you, please go vote. Because it could be this Friday at the earliest. Ooh, okay. Let's go find somebody to raid. Excuse me. Oh, Zam's playing Neva again. If y'all want to watch someone else get through the end of it, it looks like he's trying to finish today. Just looking through. Thursday. Also, we will be playing at Tony's, so bring a slice of pizza and get ready to scream. And also, this is your preemptive headphone warning, because I will probably be screaming very loudly. Aw, someone's got a cat on here. Adorable. I don't know, would it be weird to raid Zam again? Even though we just raided them. Crafty Cat, thank you. Or we could go see 9.5. I think 9 is doing fundraising right now. That could actually be good. Might do that. Let's go see 9. 9's playing Fortnite for the kids. I like that. Let's do that. Start raid. I did it. I started my raid. I didn't forget this time. Y'all, thank you so much for choosing to spend your free time with me today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for redeeming sock stripes and watching me knit on my sock and talking about all that stuff with me. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll be back on Thursday for horror game, and be sure to vote in Discord for the days that would work for you for a movie night so we can roast Hot Frosty over a fire. Alright, have a great rest of your week. I'll see you guys in a few days. Hell yeah. Alright, y'all. Good night.